This is Pokling 888 Telemetrading Daily Market Research and Data Analysis. Here are the top 10 most active companies in the Philippine Stock Exchange in terms of volume. Solar Philippines Nueva Ecija traded 78.94 million at a price of 1.20, followed by the AC Energy Philippines traded 67.48 million at a price of 9.33 per share. Next, the Mega World with 22.10 million at a price of 3 pesos and 10 cents per share. Next, the Monde Nissan with 17.10 million at a price of 16 pesos. Followed by the Keepers Holdings with 13.05 million at a price of 1.17 per share. Also, the Ayala Land Logistics with 11.47 million at a price of 6.03, followed by the Ayala Land, closed at a price of 33.85 per share and traded 10.44 million. Next, the Apex Mining with 9.29 million at a price of 1.53, followed by the All Day Marts with 63.29 million at a price of 0.60 per share. And the RL Commercial with 9.65 million at a price of 8 pesos and 18 cents per share. And here are the top gainers, led by the ABS-CBN Holdings with 0.37%. Next, the Centro Escolar with 7.07%. The Mabuhay Vinyl with 4.39%. Next, the All Day Marts with gains of 3.45%. Next, the Ionics with 2.90% gains, followed by the GMA Holdings with 2.90%. Next, the Far Eastern University with 2.80%. Next, the PH Resorts with 2.78%. The First Philippine Holdings Corporation with 2.71% gains, and the Ginebra San Miguel with 2.54%. And here are the notable losers, led by the Dizon Copper Silver with 16.15% losses, followed by the F&J Prince with 12.31%. Next, the Oriental Petrol with losses of 9.09%, followed by the Oriental Petrol B with 9.09%. Also lost from Vulcan with 9.09%. Also, the Basic Energy lost 8.62%. Then the Forum Pacific with losses of 8.62%. The Bright Kindle with 7.06%. The Araneta Properties with 6.80% losses. And the Liberty Flour Mills with 6.41% losses. And this is the latest on Forex. For US dollar, the dollar index hovered around 96.2 on Friday, while the offshore yuan traded near 6.38 per US dollar on Friday and is set to end a volatile week lower. For Australian dollar, it hovered below 0.71 or 0.718 US dollar, and also set to end the week more than 1% lower as major currencies lost ground against the US dollar. The Japanese yen steadied around 115.9 per US dollar. Then the New Zealand dollar hovered below 0.677 US dollar. And for the euro, it traded 0.2% higher at 1.1309 per US dollar. And here are the updates on commodities. For gold price, the gold steadied below 1,800 US dollars per ounce and was set for a 2% weekly decline. While for crude oil, the US crude futures traded 0.3% higher at 79.72 US dollars a barrel. Then for the Brent crude futures held above 82 US dollars per barrel and is headed for its third weekly advance. And for the gasoline, it increased to a 7-week high of 2.3282 US dollar per gallon. And this is the stock market updates. In US, the US stock futures edged higher on Friday as investors awaited a key jobs report at the end of a volatile week. Dow futures inched up 0.2%, while S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures gained 0.3% and 0.4% respectively. All three major averages declined in regular trading on Thursday, led by the Dow's 0.47% fall, while S&P lost 0.1% and Nasdaq shed 0.13%. In New Zealand, the NZX50 index fell 0.1% to close at 12,971 on Friday, finishing the week down by 0.48% as stocks in New Zealand came under pressure from rising global yields. The biggest index decliners on Friday were Vista with 2.59%, Infratil with 2.05%, Circle with 1.47%, Meridian Energy with 1.37%, and Chorus with 1.31% losses. In Australia, the S&P or ASX 200 index rose 1.29% to close at 7,453 on Friday, recouping some losses after a tech-led sell-off in the previous session. Gains in financials were propelled by giant lenders Commonwealth Bank 2.68%, ANZ Bank 2.6%, Westpac Banking 1.26%, and National Australia Bank with 1.55%. Energy stocks also rose amid strong oil and coal prices, led by gains in Woodside Petroleum 2.21%, Santos Ltd with 2.88%, and Whitehaven Coal with 3.34%. Other companies in the healthcare, mining, technology, and consumer sectors mostly advanced as well. Meanwhile, fiber cement maker James Hardie's shares dropped 4.13% after the company ousted CEO Jack Truong for breaching code of conduct. The benchmark stock index ended the CISO week nearly flat, gaining just 0.12%. In United Kingdom, the FTSE 100 was little changed at 7,450 on Friday, following a 0.9% loss in the previous session, as investors remain cautious ahead of a key US jobs report due later today. In China, the Shanghai Composite shed 0.18% to 3,580, while the Shenzhen Component fell 0.59% to 14,344 on Friday, as mainland stocks ended a volatile week sharply lower. In France, the CAC 40 index fell 0.4% to trade at the 7,220 level on Friday, extending yesterday's 1.7% loss. On the corporate front, a decline in the luxury goods sector more than offset promising corporate results. LVMH, 0.4%, Hermes with 0.6% losses, and L'Oreal with 0.6%, traded in the red. On the other hand, ST Microelectronics jumped 4.2%, after preliminary results were better than expected. The semiconductor manufacturer's revenue rose to 3.56 billion US dollars in quarter 4 2021 compared to 3.24 billion US dollars in the same period of the previous year. In Japan, the Nikkei 225 index inched down 0.03% to close at 28,478, while the broader Topix index shed 0.07% to 1,996 on Friday. Japanese technology firms mostly declined, with losses from Lasertec 1.71%, Keyence 2.93%, and Recruit Holdings 1.07%, among others. Meanwhile, expectations of higher interest rates lifted shares of banks and other financial firms, led by gains in Mitsubishi UFJ with 3.44%, Sumitomo Mitsui with 1.59%, and Mizuho Financial with 1.08%. In Europe, European stocks held steady near the flat line on Friday, following Thursday's sell-off as investors digested fresh economic data from the Eurozone. And this is the latest on bonds. In Greece, the Greece 10-year government bond yield increased to an 18-month high of 1.428%, while in US, the yield surged past 1.7% this week, levels not seen since March 2021. In United Kingdom, the UK 10-year government bond yield increased to a 10-week high of 1.161%, while in Japan, it increased to a 39-week high of 0.122%. And in Spain, it also increased to a 19-month high of 0.646%. For non-farm payroll in US, the non-farm payrolls likely hit a record in 2021. Non-farm payrolls likely increased by 400,000 in the last month of 2021, pushing the 2021 total to a record of 6.5 million jobs added, but still leaving the economy about 3.5 million jobs below its pre-pandemic peak in February. At the same time, the impact of the rapid spread of the Omicron coronavirus variant on the labor market is still uncertain and is unlikely to appear until at least the January report. The unemployment rate is seen dropping to a new pandemic low of 4.1% in December, while wage growth is expected to rise to 0.4% as companies continue to raise wages to retain workers amid a labor shortage. And this is the latest news in Wiki Forex. Samtrade FX tops all services amid Singapore investigation. The online trading platform Samtrade Forex, which is facing an investigation in Singapore, has suspended both local and overseas operations through its operating entities and other affiliated entities. The corporate statement issued by Samtrade FX detailed that the suspension of its services will include, but is not limited to, account opening, account changes, settlements, payments, opening and closing of trades. These moves came as immediate steps on the part of the trading platform operator in response to the joint investigation against it launched by the Singapore Police Force and Monetary Authority of Singapore. And here's a trivia. Elon Musk now worth more than 300 billion US dollars. Following Tesla's blowout delivery report of 308,600 vehicles for the fourth quarter, its chief executive officer Elon Musk saw his net worth reach 304 billion US dollars, So reports the New York Post. For Musk, Monday was another day, another 30 billion US dollars, with shares of his company jumping more than 13%, while other automotive manufacturers have been struggling to produce cars due to a computer chip shortage. Tesla defied the odds. Once again, Tesla's market valuation is now 1.2 trillion US dollars. And this is Emmy from Philippines reporting. Thank you.